Call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. We will start with a pledge and a prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Y'all pray with me. Lord God, thank you for the freedom you've laid upon us to come here and do this business. Lord God, may everything that we do here be for the good of the children, the faculty, and the community. Lord God, thank you for the forgiveness that you give to us freely. First in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. First order of business is recognition students. What? Oh.
Y'all be patient with RJ.
That's right, I'm a rookie at this. The meeting was posted in a timely manner. And there,
There's board members.
yeah. All right. Now, recognition students of the month. Really different. I'm playing tonight.
Good evening, board. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start tonight with our student of the month, our soaring cardinal for Miss Wyndham's class, third grader Max Epperson. Max has been working hard in class. He has grown so much in his academics. I'm so proud of him. He is kind and a good friend to all. His sweet smile brightens my day. Max Epperson. Okay. All right, next in Ms. Westbrook's class, Caesar Lil. Long time, Caesar. Mr. Caesar. Caesar is kind, sweet, and a very hard worker. He has really improved since he's came to Maud. He has such a great attitude and always wants to do his best. I'm so proud of him. Mr. Caesar. Next, fourth grade for Mrs. Gaines, Maddox Yee. Fourth grade, Ms. McCarter, Rindy Foster. Fifth grade, Mrs. Clayton, Zoe Ramos. And then Mrs. Frost, fifth grade, Miles Murphy. I think the rain kept everybody away tonight. Yes. And now for my teacher of the month would be Mrs. Kim Epperson. That's great. Mrs. Epperson, our amazing second grade teacher, who has gone above and beyond in every way. Her classroom is filled with laughter and love, a reflection of her vibrant spirit and the joy she brings to learning. She has a magical way of making every student feel seen, loved, and excited to learn, especially when it comes to reading. Her passion is contagious, her leadership is strong, and her heart is immeasurable. A strong leader and a shining example of what it means to teach with heart, she's deeply loved by her students and respected by her peers. She is a true Cardinal through and through, leading with passion, spirit, pride. She makes our school a better place just by being in it.
At this time, I would like to recognize our secondary students of the month. Mr. J. Sean Henderson, Miss Abby Rogers, and Mr. Roman Stewart. Come on up, guys. So I wanted to recognize these three students because they did something amazing today. They went to Special Olympics and they rocked the world. They came back, as you can see, y'all hold up and show your medals and stuff. So I'm going to let them tell you what they did today. Now let them tell you their name and their grade. So go ahead, Abby. Tell them what you did, buddy. Tell them your name first.
Abby Rogers, and I did the 50-yard dash and a softball throw.
Tell them what place you got.
Third and third.
I'm Jason Henderson. I got second for the 50-yard dash run and third place for the thunderbolt throwing.
Roman's a little bit more shy. Roman here, he got 2 golds, as you can see, in the thunderbolt throw and also the 50-yard dash. So I asked these students to wear their shirts as well, as you can see, our mod logo there. But these students did a great job. They went over and they exemplified being a mod Cardinal. They all participated well. They clapped for other students. They showed support for one another. They had helpers and they loved the day. Their favorite part, I think, was getting the snacks and the toys, right? So we had a great day, but I was so proud of these students, and to go and to compete today, they're a little exhausted tonight because it was a long morning. But they did such a great job, and so I wanted to make sure that we recognize them here tonight. So again, let's give these 3 Olympians a round of applause. I want to recognize our secondary staff member of the month, Miss Colleen Steinhoff. So when I invited Miss Steinhoff to come to the board meeting tonight, I did not tell her what she was coming for. So I wanted to surprise her. I wanted mostly to thank her. She came to us when we had one of our teachers go out for maternity leave, and she has been such a great addition to the secondary staff. She provides in-class support for several of our students, most specifically in our middle school math, and that is, as you know, a difficult area. And she works with our students even over spring break. She didn't have to, but she came to me. She asked for binders. She was taking home books to put together lessons, to be ready to come back and help better prepare and support our students. And that's what she does every single day. Like I said, it was such a blessing that she came to our lives, and we at the secondary are so thankful for her, so proud of her, and just wanted to make sure that we recognize her here tonight. So again, Miss Colleen Steinhoff. Thank you.
All right, we're back in session at 6:50 p.m. Public comments,
There's no one signed up.
communications.
None this month, sir.
Does anybody got anything they want to talk about or pull from the consent agenda?
No checks for Bowie County or for Tractor or Bailey Signs this month, so.
Item number 6, consider.
We gotta vote on it.
Oh, we do have to vote on this. Yeah, welcome, Terry.
I'll make a motion that we accept consent agenda.
Second.
Second by Rusty. All in favor? It's unanimous. Now, item 6, consider and possible approval to approve contract with Owners Builders Resource to serve as Maud ISD Program Manager for 2023 bond programs.
Okay, Mr. President, as you know, back in, I guess about February, we brought Robert in to help us get over the hump there. Felt like his leadership and guidance with us served a lot real fast. We're able to get some things going, and as a matter of fact, we've got a nice pad work out there going on now. And so that's exciting. I'm glad to see that. But, you know, the other pieces of that bond project was the conversion of the cafeteria into a band hall and the drive loop around this thing. And not wanting to have a repeat of our last piece in going off the rails, I asked Robert to come back and give us a proposal for working with our drive loop, continuing to keep up with our cafeteria project, and also looking at our band hall renovation. So this is really just, again, the owner's piece, looking at it, bringing extra perspective to it, bringing alternative suggestions to the table when we look at things with the architects, with the builders, and I feel like he's been a great resource for us to date. I would like to see him continue to work with us on our next 2 projects, because both of those could go off the rails really quick and easy if you're not careful. We do have limited budgets there, and we want to make sure that we use that as wisely and as completely as possible to complete the original plan of the board and the community. So any questions on he's provided his fee basis for the time there. One thing that I do like about Robert and his company, that's the worst case scenario for Maud. And if things are rolling and rocking, looking good, he may cut back on some of those right there. So that's the worst case that you'll see there. And so, but it does provide it by a monthly basis, which I think is fair and equitable, and gives us good representation throughout this process, having someone that's got the best interest of Maud at stake there. You can see on this that the new cafetorium is scheduled to go through next summer, and then we'll start gearing up relatively soon here on revisiting our drive loop and parking, going back to I don't want to take too much thunder from you there, but going back to our original piece. We've spent some time putting that back together. You can see the timelines on that does jump into it pretty quickly here. So we're not waiting for 2 years down the road to get our drive loop going. And also, as soon as we can pull materials out of the cafeteria, and actually whenever we can serve food in our new cafeteria, we're ready to gut the other one and get going again. So it gives us a timeline, a plan, how we're going to get there, and being able to, again, bring our 2023 bond program to fruition. He will. I just giving you the front part of it. Robert, you want to talk anything about that?
Yeah, Doc, appreciate it. Board members, good to see you. Yeah, we just went back and for the cafetorium project, I used Roger's calendar days. I think they were pretty conservative on putting those together. I think we'll be able to beat their timeline just based on how they moved over the last couple of weeks. I feel pretty good, especially looking at the milestones ahead, which I'll talk about a little bit. Then I visited with Doc about the road and then the band hall, and just based on the dynamics with the cafetorium and how we ended up going from a band hall cafetorium combo to just the cafetorium to holy cow, we're gonna be able to do the cafetorium. I feel like there's been enough water under the bridge. It's worth sitting back down with the stakeholders, your kitchen folks, your staff. Let's really look at once they're moved out, your fine arts folks, what's that band hall gonna look like? What are we trying to do? We probably want to consider maybe serving elementary music, middle school, high school band, all those good things, and not get too crazy with it, but make sure you got a good space. So I been through the plans, I've been through the specs, and I think there's some things in there that fall in line with maybe where the cafeteria was headed months ago, that we can rein back in and give you guys something that's functional and economical, maybe help you address some other priorities. And then we talked about the roadway and how you got a maze around here, and somehow y'all do the dance twice a day, every day, getting those buses in and parents in and out. If we're going to connect everything together, let's really think hard about how we might stage the kids, stage the traffic, and minimize the impact. I don't want to lasso this campus with a bunch of concrete if we don't have to. If we can be strategic on how we get folks in and out. So stepping back a little bit on the design that I think WRA put together. They've already done a lot of work, but it might be worth it to tweak it here or there. And it's going to involve some playscapes. We've got to be mindful of that. So we took all that into consideration when we put our schedule together. And as you can see, I mean, we like showing it all to you. Just you see how we came up with the method to our madness. We know how far it is out here. We included those costs. And if you had nothing better to do and you stayed up late one night reading the details of the contract, you know we work on a 30-day out clause. If we're not bringing you guys value, if we don't step away, you can send us packing. We're going to come to you every month and show you where we're at, show you what we're doing, and hopefully earn our keep through the whole process. And I have talked with Doc. I really like Rogers. I like the way they're handling things. I like the way they're handling the documentation. They, along with us, are pushing WRA to get RFIs and submittals turned around in a timely manner. So if this thing continues on as smooth as it's going, then we don't need to be here every week. We can do surprise visits, and Doc is correct. We try to give you guys a worst case scenario because it's a not to exceed fee. Something happens, it goes a little longer or whatever, it's on us. But if it comes in under that, and we tail back a little bit, then that's savings to you guys. So it's not a fixed fee, it's a monthly deal based on our time commitments, and we'll work with Doc managing that as we go through the process. Appreciate it.
Any questions, concerns? Yeah. I'm all about that.
Do we have a motion to approve the contract with Owners Builders Resource to serve as Malta ISD Program Manager for 2023 bond programs?
Second.
Motion by Rusty, second by Tim. All in favor?
I appreciate that.
Congratulations.
Glad to have
So
you.
now we got to prove ourselves.
Exactly.
You've done a good job so far.
He's not done, so when you,
Yeah,
read,
no.
when you read 7, he'll take over again.
All right. I was hoping there was something else here.
Yeah, I got a couple of things.
He got a lot more paper in his hand for what he's on. All right. Update on the board on the status of the cafeteria band hall renovation projects.
Well, just so you'll know, you see the red dirt out there. We have got the pad in, it's at grade. Got a couple submittals pending on the underground utilities. Should be in the next day or so, which means we can start getting the underground in. They're going to be setting up the batter boards, again, the corner controls on the thing here the next week or so, which will allow them to set the utilities in the right locations. I asked him today about the fire riser. He hadn't ordered that yet, which is a bit of a concern because that's got to go in before the grade beams. But looking at grade beams in here, did you say middle of May?
Yeah, it's
June 23rd right now is the scheduled date for the slab placement. Steel will show up shortly after that. So this thing's going to be coming out of the ground pretty quick. They've got it lined out. It's looking good. So the rain will just hold off a little bit. Let us get concrete down. That changes our world. But until we get the concrete down, it's going to be pretty sketchy for us. But Keith's doing a really good job of managing things out there. Like I say, he saw the rain coming this week, end of the week here, so he brought in some more horses, and they got the lifts in, got it all tested, they're ready to start putting it underground. So right where we want to be right now. And as I said earlier, just my recommendation, I think Doc's on board, is to kind of just take a step back a little bit on the band hall, and maybe come back to you guys with a clearer picture on exactly what we're going to try to knock out there, along with the new layout or the existing layout of the road. We'll see, but everything's been so focused on getting something moving on this thing. I'd like to circle back and make sure all of you and your staff is on the same page with where we're headed with the manhole. And that's something we'll start working on in the next couple of weeks. So maybe next month we'll be back with a little more detailed approach to how we're gonna tackle that manhole on the roadway.
And you have some ideas maybe for the road?
Well, bridge builders, I'm not a tree hugger, but you got some really good looking real estate with the trees and the playgrounds over there. They plowed right through all of that, went all the way back through the woods and all the way to the back of the property just to circle back around here. And the key is your staff, because they've got to herd those cats every morning and every evening. And you've done a really good job of making your current layout work. Outside looking in, it's organized chaos. It is. But we talked about, I threw something out, well, could we stage the elementary back at the gym? You know, collect them there or discharge them there. They're in the gym. Maybe back there we can approach it a little different way with a loop without plowing through all of your property over here. And I think you go back a pretty good ways. You got a big stretch of property over there. If we put a drive through there, and we may end up doing that, you just cut it all off. So want to tuck it in as tight as we can, be as efficient as we can, but also get all the parents off the highway. Get them back here into the property where they can queue, can be safe, and maybe even feel like they don't have to get here at 1:15, so they're early in line. And, you know, so all that to say is, haven't penciled it out completely yet, but we've got some ideas. I think we'll have some fun working with staff on what really makes sense for getting kids in and out and segregating that traffic from the buses as well. And buses one way, students another. So, yeah, it's work in progress. All right.
He's gonna stand there one more time.
One more item, okay, yeah.
All right. Considering possible approval of monthly expenditures to Rec Tech LLC for work submitted to the new Maud ISD cafeteria.
So I didn't know if this was in Doc's spending limit or not, but I feel like with everything going on, we need to let you guys, keep you in the loop on everything we do. ETTL was the firm that was hired to do the geotechnical work on the cafeteria, all the work actually. So it's a natural transition to ease to them for the construction materials testing and inspection. As you know, we've already started.
Robert, let me say one thing.
What's that?
Robert's on item 9.
Yeah.
Oh, did I jump past it?
Yeah.
Make sure y'all know that. That's fine. That's
What was the one
fine.
you're
Keep
on?
rocking. What was?
About the expenditures to Rec Tech.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, pay him.
That's fine.
Do that first,
Yeah.
then we'll go to mine.
So basically, we've got total expenditures to date of $132,591.27. 100% on the bonding. We don't get to have any retainage on that, but there's 5% retainage on the rest of it. So that's according to our contracts. So Robert and WRA have been through those, approve it. Just need the board's approval for Tommy to write the check tomorrow.
We have a motion to approve the monthly expenditures to Rec Tech LLC for the work in the amount of $132,591.27.
Make a motion.
Motion by Tim, second. Second by Rusty. All in favor? All right, now.
TTL.
Now, we've got a proposal. We went to ETTL. They, much like we do with their experience, looked at the project. I think they were pretty, gave themselves some cushion on the trips out here to do the work. The proposal identifies how they came up with their total price. I think it's just north of $36,000. We wanted to share that with you, let you guys vote on it. I think we're gonna come in under that. They got a lot of concrete placements counted in their deal. We're gonna do this slab in one placement. I'm almost 100% sure of that. Likewise, we knocked out the pad in about a week, so they had quite a few hours in there for that. So I feel like we're gonna be in great shape coming under it, but since it was a pretty good 5-figure number, we wanted to bring it to you for consideration so we can keep this ball rolling. They'll handle everything from soils,
Soil, concrete,
structural
steel, all those pieces. So, not just dirt.
We have a motion to approve the contract with ETTL Engineers and Consultants to provide construction material testing on the new cafeteria.
So make a motion.
Motion by Terry, second by Rusty, all in favor?
Guys, I appreciate it, look forward to working with you. And hopefully have some good news for you next month.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, guys.
Item 10, consider and possible approval of cafeteria tables for the new Maud ISD cafeteria.
Good work. This is one of those that, I've been looking at cafeteria tables for about a year. And knowing that tables are gonna only go up over the next year as we prepare for our new one. Sir?
It's a long time to be looking at a table.
Well, you know, we've got, y'all been in there, y'all know our setup, and it's difficult to clean and manage, you know, running through there and keeping it up between each of our food services that's there. And then it's also difficult when we have an event, you know, where our seating's limited. And so the tables that I've put before you in the board book was bench seating, but it does allow us to seat almost 190 kids in there at one time for feeding services, and then you can spin those tables around, you have bench seating. And so those tables would be able to work for us this next year in the cafeteria, which would provide us the opportunity to be much more efficient with our cleanings in there, do a much better job after cafeteria service, but also in the event that we have items going on, we can already use those things next year.
Which bench sitting is elderly able to get in one of those things?
Well, they're gonna be a bench seat at that point, so you actually have a back, so you'll sit back into a bench like a
They're
stadium
able to
seat.
get in one of those?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I went and looked at these tables are at Wake Village Elementary, and went over and saw Mr. Carter's campus, and you know, I was able to sit into it very comfortably.
You consider yourself
Well, my knees hurt all the time.
Well, the neat thing about them is, I didn't realize till I looked, is they said they're a table, then you fold it into a bench, so then if you got an event in there, you got rows of benches.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
And for cleaning purposes, you don't have all those chair legs to deal with. You just flip up the bottom, run it. And so where we're going with this is be able to get a floor machine and go in there and actually scrub those floors every day. And so, you know, much like you see in Lowe's or Walmart and other places that allow you to keep things much cleaner.
Those grandparents can get in there and see their kids.
Well, and I don't think they'll have any problems. It did really well. You know what I'm saying?
A kid can sit in just about anything.
Just about anything, yeah. And so, but you know, they are different, different look, but I do feel like they can do well. And Mr. McCarter said his campus, they've had several events with parents and they had no issues.
Good.
So this would allow us to go ahead and pay for this out of bond funds, but knowing that we're actually saving money a year ahead of time, because right now materials are just going up. And so, and we'll just roll these in the new cafeteria.
Well, RJ keeps raising the rents.
That's right. It's that tariff they put on there. Yeah. Also 2.5%. Good. Yeah. All right, we have a motion to approve the purchase of the tables for the new tables in the cafeteria.
Make a motion.
Motion by you.
Second.
Second by Tim. All in favor? All right, number 11, considering possible approval of Maud ISD Open Education Resources Transition Plan for Blue Bonnet Learning Instruction Material.
Sounds really important, doesn't it?
It is important.
It is very important. That's how our children learn.
No, it's really not. Some of the times they make us do things that we really don't understand why we have to do it. But
Because you've already done it all.
so we have the curriculum we've been using for the past couple of years. They're changing the name. Basically, it's almost, they're very few things are changing in the curriculum, but they are changing the name of it. And so they are wanting us to come up with a plan as to how we're going to transition from what we're doing now to the new curriculum. So we had to, they gave us kind of a template of what we were supposed to put in the plan, and we had to, you know, put what our percentage of what our teachers were gonna be using the curriculum, which, you know, we put 100% because we're already using it. So it's, you know, something we've already been doing, our teachers are familiar with, and there's supposed to be very little change in what we're doing. It also, you know, you have to list out how you're receiving your materials, who's gonna do the ordering, who's going to, you know, distribute it, make sure the teachers have the supplies they need, you know, how you're going to evaluate the teachers, the walkthroughs. They have a tool that's an online tool that, you know, the principals will use. It's pretty much the same thing they're already using. So we had to write this 11-page plan on basically of that. So that's pretty much what it is. So it's basically just saying what we were already doing. We just had to put it in a plan so that and we didn't even have to submit it to anyone. We just had to have it, and y'all just have to approve it. So I guess they're just taking our word that we've done our plan. But that's basically what it is. It's just how we're going to transition from the curriculum we're in now to the new curriculum. So,
So we just need a motion to approve the blue blank plan as presented.
yeah.
All right. All good?
All good.
We have a motion to approve the Blue Bonnet Plan as presented.
Make that motion.
Motion by Tim, second by Rusty. All in favor? It's unanimous.
Is this the plan?
No, this is the next.
Yeah, it's the next thing.
This is the next one. So the next thing on there is our TIA, which is the teacher incentive allotment. We did submit our application for the teacher incentive allotment. We will find out, I believe this summer, whether or not, you know, it has been approved. We did have a region center that helped us to write the plan, and they, you know, kind of walked us through, because they've done it a while, to know, you know, how we need to word things to get it approved. So I don't think we're going to have any problems with that. This that I've given you is just kind of a timeline as to what we're looking at. Next year with this will be the year that we do all the data collection, and this will be where we use the teachers, their appraisals, and our growth measure for our students. And, you know, that's what's going to determine whether or not teachers are put up with the designation for this extra money. So, you know, next year is when we do all the collecting of all the data, and then the following year is where we could have some teachers qualify for, can be a very significant amount of money for, you know, for them, their successes in the classroom. So it's kind of just a way for us to recognize the teachers who are doing a really good job, and their students are doing a really good job, and give them some more money. So that's kind of the timeline for it. So, you know, next year will just be us collecting all the information, and then the following year is when they would get the payout for, if they qualify for it.
Looking through that way they have that, you agree with everything that they're doing there? I mean, in a 3-year deal, if they have to wait that long?
Yeah, we don't have any control over that. That's just the way it's lined out. And there's a lot of schools that are already doing it. And that was kind of one of the reasons we decided that we needed to jump on board and do it, because if a teacher could go to Liberty ILO or New Boston and make a lot more money through this, you know, we don't want to lose good people for us not offering it. So, you know,
And they're already doing it, you know what I'm saying? That's the teachers, you know what I'm saying? Now, I will say, Ms. Sanders and the principals are gonna carry some significant load in the next year, in 2 years, you know?
yeah, and that's
Just
one
getting-
good thing for teachers, is they're doing absolutely nothing different. They're just teaching school, and, you know, their students, when they show growth and they have good evaluations, that's what's gonna, you know, put them up for this. So it's not a thing where they've got to fill out applications or fill out things to this. They do nothing different for this. So that is a good thing. So anyway, that's just a little bit about that.
Good deal.
And I think the next one on there is the accountability, which I'm also talking about. And that is, if you remember, we have not gotten a rating for the last couple of years because it's been in litigation. Some schools filed lawsuits against the state saying that, you know, it was not a fair system the way they had lined out the A through F. So it's been, we haven't gotten any. So they just got through with a court trial, whatever, and the judge said that yes, you can release the 2023 results. So we got ours last week, I believe, and we did have a 93 that year. So we did make an A in 2023. They still haven't released 2024. Apparently it's also been, you know, they sued for that one also, so it's gonna have to go before a judge, and I'm assuming it'll probably get pushed out to where you're gonna release it if they release the 2023, but I don't know how long that's gonna take. So we did get our results from, and it's something that we've already kind of known because we can calculate it ourselves. So we, you know, we talk about it in the board meetings once we get the results. It's just not anything that's released to the public. And so now the 2023 has been released. So
Good job,
2
Bob.
years ago.
2 years ago, but that's an A, so we
Yeah.
want to celebrate that, and, you
Yeah.
know, that work of the board, Chris Bradshaw and the school members, you know, they did an outstanding job, so I want to praise them for a job well done.
And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Glad they're not grading school.
Good, we were failing when we were back. All right, next up, 14, annual review and approve resolution regarding investment policy and strategies.
So I'm going to defer to Mr. Van Dever to talk on that 14 for just a minute.
Okay. Left me maybe slightly unprepared. What you have
sorry.
before you is the, really just the resolution regarding our investment policy and our strategies. You have a copy of the board policy. This is just an annual item that has to be placed before you. Our investment strategy is we put the money in the bank and we collect interest on it. We're not investing money in any other vehicle at the moment, and honestly really don't plan to. I will drop in, we have RFPs out now for our depository, take effect September 1, because we're legally at the end of the time we could contract for the other one. Have had interest shown from a couple of banks, and so I think the interest rate on our deposits is going to remain kind of in line with where it is. Because it's coming down as interest rates come down a little bit. It's coming down, but I don't think we'll have any reason to go out into the tax pool or anything like that with our investments. I think going forward, our investment policy again will be to put the money in the bank and record the interest every month.
So essentially no change over last year's practice.
Any questions? You good? Do we have a motion to approve the resolution of the investment policies and strategies?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Terry. Second by Tim. All in favor? Unanimous. Next up, discussion of Malt ISD's property values and foundation school program funding.
We just tabled that one for this month,
Oh, yeah.
and then we'll have the values next month to bring back to the board. And again, I'm sure they will change again during the summer, but at least we'll have the initial values to bring to you.
Moving on. Consider impossible approval of additional costs associated with the Central Bowie County SSA for the 25-26 academic year.
Okay, board, wanted to share with you kind of where we are with our SSA with Redwater. Visiting with Dr. Burns at Redwater, when Dr. Bradshaw and her set up the SSA, we're removing from one set of costs from Liberty ILO and trying to peel down the cost as much as possible. They swung really hard back the other direction. And so in the 2-year period, really felt like there was some things that wasn't anticipated. And so in doing that, we worked through quite a few renditions of this before we brought a proposal to you. Looking at what's causing the cost increase over there for the district, if you have that colored sheet, you don't have it in the workbook. I'm sorry, I didn't run copies of that. When you look at that, we have currently right now one self-contained classroom that's K through 3, has 16 kids in it. And again, this is our most needy kids. And so in looking at that, that's kids that are extremely needy to kids that are very needy. You know what I'm saying? But in that distinction right there, the kids that are very needy can learn quite a bit of mathematics and some reading pieces that's going to help them in life. And the kids that are extremely needy, they're learning more basic life skills, you know, shoes, toiletry, those type of things right there. And so the co-op, this is my recommendation for co-op, is to split that class next year and to give us two classes in there. One for our extremely needy, and then one that can work with our other ones, which means as an additional teacher and aides that are needed to support those kids. And so when we look at that, on that piece that was given to you in the board book, that's about $34,000 difference in salaries that's associated with just that one classroom change right there. Looking at the fiscal agent fee, originally they're charging $12,000, but we've had quite a few times this year where the Redwater principals, counselors have had to work with mod kids over there. If something goes wrong at the co-op, they don't call Kayla or Ms. Seegers to come over there and deal with it. They use their principals on hand, which ties up quite a bit of time when they're working with them, especially when we're talking about behavior unit. And we do have quite a few kids in the behavior unit that is over there. So the recommendation has been to increase that fee to $30,000, which allows them to, one, their principals, counselors that deal with the kids over there, compensate Redwater back for some of that cost, but also their business office, because when you're looking at that piece there, and Tommy can assure you too, you know, you're dealing with all these pieces on just my district, the time and effort and all those pieces there, and then when you throw in that co-op piece, there's a significant amount of time and effort that goes into that, and keeping it straight, but also making sure that they're billing their sister district, which in this case is mod, correctly, and not messing up those costs. So they've incurred quite a bit of increase in what they really didn't estimate enough on the front side for what they're finding out after a year or two.
So it's $36,000 more.
Went from it's structured to go from 12 to 30,000, which is an $18,000 increase.
In 1 year.
Yes, sir. So
And we increased the kid capacity more.
we've had several increases that, you know, kids that have moved into mod that we just haven't. I'll be honest with you, the piece of
So
this
what's that breakdown per kid?
it's right about 18,000 per kid to educate them over there. And so that's why I went and ran those numbers, because I was just curious, what does it cost, you know? And we look at our aid, what we spend per kid for normal aid. It's here is it. I know I was looking at projections the other day, and I'm gonna confuse that with what we actually spend on it.
But what we actually spend,
Just regular kids in mod.
without using a calculator on my phone, is gonna probably run 12,000 or so. We got 450 kids roughly, well, not quite that many anymore. And our budget is 5 million. So it's gonna be 12,000, 12,500, something like that.
And so when we have our kids that are at the SSA, they are the most needy kids that we have.
How many do we got over there?
I think I have 16 total right now. Does that sound right, principals?
We had 2 that started this week.
And so, they just moved in. And so, the good thing is, and I'll be honest with you, now we did in the what's called the behavior program. There were 4 kids in it, and for most of the year, 3 of them were mod kids, and those are the most.
Do we bus them over there? Or
Yes, we both.
We're spending almost 13 ahead here.
we had these kids here on campus, that's what
We couldn't afford it.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
going with.
yeah,
If we had
yeah.
these kids on campus, I mean, as far as the staff it would take and the facilities, do we have it?
No, we would have to build new buildings, or a new building, and we see how much the cost of just building the cafeteria has been. And when you put into it the special ed needs and all those things there, as I'm telling you, it would be astronomical.
We get
So-
some compensation back from the state, you know?
Yes, now, special ed kids do generate more funding, you know what I'm saying? And so, I guess if you want to say there is a bright side to this number, you know, when Tommy and I have been looking at what's projected to come back next year in SPED funding, again, that's additional SPED, that's not just for these, it's for all SPED, but we're looking at about another $130,000 to $150,000 in SPED funding for next year, in addition to what we've typically had. And so, and just to kind of balance it, I misspoke with you when I told you that it was as much as Woodsboro's when I was there. I called them today just to double check. It was $220,000 last year. And so, but that's with 8 member districts. Yeah, they have, so I'm saying they have anywhere between 8 and 10 there, depending on the year. And their cost last year was $220,000. Very comparable as far as kids, you know, and then ours, you know, this coming year is, we're guessing, or projecting.
So they misvaluated. You perceive them to misvaluate.
I'll be honest with you on this one, Rusty, after, you know, because we made some concessions here on, you know, agent fee, classroom fees, you know, those things. I said, I can live with that. I'd charge you for my custodians cleaning the buildings that your kids are in. You know, I don't see a substantial change out of this. I think that's kind of the reality of the whole piece.
Well, in the event that we got 16 kids there now, next year if we got 6,
It would go down.
go down, but if we got 26, it's gonna go up.
Correct. It's all,
Relative to what we have there.
yes, sir. And typically, we're about a third of the kids. So, I know it's a hard one, you know what I'm saying, but at the same time,
I was explaining pretty good there.
you know, it's just, it is our most needy kids. The fortunate piece, unless the legislature falls apart, it looks like they're gonna give us some additional funding to help cover this, and that's been their promise through this, is they're gonna fund special ed the way it needs to be funded, so.
And splitting those kids up, like you said, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it needs to happen for the kids, and so, it's gonna give those kids in that second class a better opportunity down the road.
Any other questions? We have a motion to approve the additional cost for the Central Bowie County SSA for the 25-26 academic year as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Terry, second by Rusty. All in favor? And we're good. All right. 18, review and take under advisement.
Information.
Oh, we did. We skipped them. All right, information on it. Principal's report.
All right, gentlemen, starting out with our attendance, as you can see, we have the same time this year, same time last year as this year, we are up to 96%, which we are up from last month at 94%. So our attendance is improving. I think we've passed the sickness and we're doing good. And as of last year, we were at 211. This year we have 212 in enrollment. Our spotlight for this month are our DI Cardinals. They won state last month, and they are moving on to the finals and globals in Kansas City, Missouri. So they won first place in state out of all of the state of Texas. We were so proud. We're probably one of the smallest districts on that field for
They were
state.
a tiny dot.
Yes,
on the
yeah.
football field.
The whole 6 of them jumped up out of thousands of kids. It was just amazing. It was amazing. So our girls are doing wonderful. And there's just a few pictures of them practicing here in the art room on campus and then on the field and after they won their medals. They came back, they are fired up, and they've been practicing every day, getting ready for the globals. I think they may win this year. They are on fire, yeah. Next bulletin, our Star Pep Rally. Oh my goodness. The teachers really showed out for this. Miss Epperson came up with a skit. She had rented a limousine for the girls that participated in the DI competition. You can see on the next page. They drove them in on a limo. They got out. They were superstars and all their glittering and sequins, and the whole auditorium clapped, and it was just so exciting and fun. Well, they came in and they did a skit, and some of the teachers dressed up as kids who might, sleep, stay up too late before the STAR test, not pay attention. It was just so hilarious. And then to top it off, Mrs. Frost came in and she crowned the new Mrs. Prepared, what was it? Perfect prepared for the STAR test queen, which was, of course, Miss Wyndham. So they had a really good time. Our pre-K, K, and 1 had a presentation from the Tooth Fairy, which was sponsored by the Pediatric Dentistry out of Texarkana, and they all received their little dental hygiene bags. They really had a fun time with that. And then we had our first, and it will be an annual Easter egg hunt, pre-K through 2nd grade. Miss Callie Jones headed that up. She got all the donations, the eggs donated, the candy donated, and our little Cardinals had a great time. It's been a lot of fun. On the academic side, we've been very busy. We had our last tutorial today, our STAR tutorial, and that's for the upcoming math test. We've taken the reading test last week. We took the science STAR test this week, 5th grade, and then next week will be our final math test. And our kids they've done a great job. They have taken their time, they've worked hard, and their reward is a water day for just showing improvement, just trying their hardest, improving. So next month they'll have a water day. They'll also have a field day, and Coach and I were talking about that today. That will be on the, let's see, what day is the field day? May the 13th. So we'll have a masked singer performance on the 12th by the teachers. The teachers will dress up and the kids will have to guess who they are, and they'll either sing or perform a silly skit, and the kids will determine who it is.
You need to video that one.
Yeah, we videoed the other one too. Yeah, the pep rally. So yes, we will definitely. That'll be in the morning on the 12th, and then in the afternoon, our AR kiddos who have rung the bell 5 times this year will get to go on an AR trip. And again, we'll have the field day the next day. We'll have snow cones and the popcorn machine out. The next day, we'll have a water day. We're renting 2 water slides. We got the water slides, remember? Yes. And 2 bounce houses for the littles. And so we're going to have just a fun day to just celebrate the end of school, the end of the year, and just our great kids. And then on 15th, we'll do our end of the year ceremony, award ceremonies, and we have the times listed on the bottom. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any questions?
I hope I got enough water for all this.
Oh, yes. well, we have little squirt water guns, those push ones, and water balloons that they're gonna throw at each other and just have a good old time. Oh, and we also have the fire truck coming. The fire truck's gonna come and spray them down.
I might be hitting y'all up for some water.
Sounds like it's been good, 10 footers and $30.
Well, good evening, everyone. Start off with our board report there on the first page. You can see our current enrollment for 6th through 12th is 224 students. And very proud to say our current attendance percentage for this past month is 97.21. So very proud of that, very proud of our students. You can see a breakdown by the grades on the next page. Very proud of our students for coming to school and doing well. Our 6th grade, they will win out of the middle school for the best attendance with 98.1. And then our 9th graders, they will win out of the high school with 98.47. So those 2 grades will be getting their Sonic drinks very soon. Something I feel like that's worked really well this year to encourage our students to come to school. I tell you, a Sonic drink goes a long way at the secondary campus. So whatever works, right? On secondary news, we did have 22 juniors that took the ACT test in March. So excited to get those scores back here very soon, see where our juniors kind of kick off things and then help to get them prepared, and they'll take the fall district testing in September next year when they come back. So we started that off. We also had a distracted driving presentation. We worked with TxDOT and they came out, met with our entire high school students right there before prom, with prom and graduation and just the end of the year going into the summer, just to remind our students about safe driving and how they need to go about doing that. We also hosted UIL on campus, and I'll get to our results here in just a minute with some of our students who are actually going to regionals tomorrow. We had a really neat event. First time, we had 3 students, Tristan Beckett, Aiden Fothergill, and Justice Reed, who signed esports letters of intent, and they actually got scholarships from A&M Texarkana. And so A&M Texarkana came out and helped us to host that event. Like I said, first time here on our campus, and that was a great event. They bragged on our guys, they bragged on our esports teams, and so we're really excited to see those students continue something that they love, but also get money for college for it as well. So great thing there. We had our Go Blue for Child Abuse Prevention Month. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and so we've tried to raise awareness to help educate our students about that. Several of our middle school band students also served over at the Seniors for Cardinals Luncheon this past month. Did a great job over there meeting with and visiting with some of our community members, tell them about our band program, things that we have going and things that we have coming up. They invited them to our upcoming band concert that we're going to have Monday night. We also had Adrian Benalis, who was invited to go down to TSTC in Marshall to sign his letter of intent to go down there this fall to be part of their electrical line worker program. So we're very proud of Adrian. Our student council hosted their last blood drive of the year, and they met their goal of 18 units. So we talked to LifeShare, and they said that we're going to be getting around anywhere between 450 and 550. They're going to look and see exactly our total for the year in scholarships. So we're really excited about getting money back for our students for hosting that event. We had our ag banquet this week. I wasn't able to attend. I had to go to a softball playoff game, but Mr. Barron bragged on how well our students did a great job, and everyone bragged on, of course, Mr. Barron's food. So it's not always nice to have a good ag banquet with good barbecue. The Texarkana Water Park, they actually came out and met with our high school students, talked to them about job opportunities that they have this summer, that they could go over there and get a job. And one thing that I really wanted to highlight about that, and Miss Hudgens sent out an email to the secondary staff, is when the 2 gentlemen who came out, when they were leaving, they bragged on how polite and respectful our students were. They said our students were yes sir and no sir, and so she said out of all the students they've visited that Maud sticks out as some of the most respectful. So wanted to pass that along to you guys. Very proud of our students and doing a great job representing us there. Again, Special Olympics today with Abby, Roman, and Jay Sean. They did a great job. Our high school helpers did a great job helping them. That's always a really fun event, and the weather was wonderful. The students had a good time, had some pizza at the end, so cannot beat that. Tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., Kaizen and Braylon and Brenna will be heading out to regional UIL. Kaizen's going to be competing in ready writing, Braylon in number sense, and Brenna in spelling. So very proud of all three of those students for advancing to regionals and representing us there. Esports, you can see there, Mr. Brown, I just asked him to give us a little update of kind of what they've done these last couple of months and then what they have coming up. So you can see there a really good record of 59 wins to 12 losses over the season and stuff. And their Overwatch 2 team, they are actually going to go and compete for the Undisputed State Championship at Baylor, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And then coming back on the 4th, they will go to Arlington to compete for the spring season Texas State Championship. And that team also got invited, and there was only 4 teams in the state of Texas that got invited to the All-Star Texas versus Oklahoma tournament, and they will be headed out there on May the 23rd. And then you can see there the other team, the Maud Marvels, they will head out as well on the 4th to go to the Esports Texas State Championship. And then James Howerton actually individually qualified for finishing 8th in Madden NFL 2025, and so he will actually go out with them to play for a state championship. So really proud of all of our guys and James there on an individual level for what they've done there and doing so well. You can see upcoming events. We kick off a really fun one that our seniors like tomorrow with our first senior luncheon. As I said a second ago, we do have our band spring concert. We'd love to see you guys there on Monday at 6 p.m. And we have another senior luncheon next Friday at the Maud First Baptist Church. And then our band trip, our high school band will be taking their trip that day. And then continuing to the last page, you can see there we have our athletic banquet and middle and high school grades 9 through 11 award ceremonies coming up. On that Wednesday, we're going to have baccalaureate to celebrate our seniors. And then our seniors are going to actually provide a lunch for our staff this year just to say thank you and to spend a little time with them. We're going to bring over for elementary and then of course the secondary side just so they can kind of just a final farewell, because that'll be our last day our seniors are on campus. They'll be here till lunch and then they're going to go that evening to Six Flags for their senior trip. And then the next week we do have our senior awards ceremony and of course our graduation on the 16th. You can see there our STAR testing dates on the academic side. As Miss Seeger said, we are finishing up just last few little reviews that we're doing with our students. Our students are prepared and they're ready. We've completed English, we completed science, and we completed social studies. And next week we'll have our 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th with Algebra 1 taking their math tests. And then we will finish up our STAR testing season. So super proud of our kids. They've worked really hard, put a lot of time and energy into it. Very, very proud of our teachers for all their effort and what they've done, hard work they've done with our students, extra time just going above and beyond to prepare those students. So really, really proud of all of them over there on the secondary side. You guys have any questions?
Got a lot going on.
Yeah, we do. It's spring. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, athletic director report.
I don't have an athletic director report this month, but he said he'd make it up and do double next month.
All right. Next up, review and take under advisement the SHAC School Health Advisory Council recommendations for 2024 and 2025.
Hey, board, our SHAC committee meets 4 times throughout the year. And one of the things they do is provide recommendations to the board on outcomes that they see that could help the district. And then, again, those are recommendations. The board doesn't have to take formal action on it, but it's a report to the board. They've done many things from the additional AEDs in the school to the choking bags or masks that they have now. That's all been from our SHAC committee. The only other recommendation they had was that we have a first responders at our football games, because that's a big time where, you know, potential injuries can happen. But, you know, and I shared with them that, you know, the pieces that we've had in the past, it's just really hard to get an ambulance service to schedule to be here for all of our football games, because they typically have been short-staffed in the county. And that's where our first responders from the Maud Volunteer Fire Department comes in. So it was a recommendation that we continue to work with the Maud Volunteer Fire Department to provide first responders on the scene at our football games throughout the year. So that's the recommendation from the SHAC committee. So any questions related to their recommendations?
What we're already doing.
Continue to do what we're doing, yes, sir. And so, and I do appreciate Chief Nichols and his group for doing that for us each time. You know, being able to have one trained people there to work with our kids, but also to have really the whole life net piece with radio contact that can go and at the drop of a hat get a lot of resources flowing. I think that puts us in a good spot for our kids.
Any question? Next up, board training hours for April 2024 through April 2025.
Okay, board, this is what we have to read these each year prior to our May meeting. And so I'll just read this out. Local district orientation. Our first year board members have completed their local district orientation. Josh Braley and Tim Roberts both completed. Orientation in Texas Education Code. The following first year board members have completed the orientation in Texas Education Code. Josh Braley and Tim Roberts. Post-legislative update to the Education Code. No board members were required to complete post-legislative update to the Education Code for this time period covered by this announcement. Team building. All board members have completed team building for this past year. Additional continuing education. The following board member, all board members have completed additional continuing education requirements. Evaluating student performance and goal setting. Again, this is done through biennial training, and all members have completed that. Identifying abuse report, trafficking, and other maltreatment of children. This is done every 2 years. First year board members have completed, and the other board members have previously completed prior to this time. And then school safety, all board members have completed that, and that's something that's done each 2 years. So we'll have to be looking at a couple of those for next year, but good job, board, for continuing to do that extra time. And I'll get with Tommy to double y'all's salary for the extra effort.
Do what?
I was asking him if he's good there, if he needs me to buy him a drink. He's a little congested.
I'm telling you, I've got a frog in my throat for some reason. I don't know why.
All right. Next up, superintendent's report.
All right, board. We have completed the School Safety Center Emergency Operations Plan Review for the 24-25 year. Got the final email confirmation 2 weeks ago that our basic plan was met all the criteria of the new plan. And so we are completely compliant with the School Safety Center for our cybersecurity and basic plan for the 24-25 school year. It really came down to some word choices. And so they actually sent me the sentence they wanted me to put in there. So high school graduation is May 16th at 7 p.m. It'll be in our gymnasium. I think last year we had black pants and maroon shirts. Is that right? Mm-hmm. So that good for everybody. We'll plan to do that again. Unless you just want to wear
it still fits me.
Unless you just want to wear a suit and tie. End of the year employee breakfast is May 16th. And Miss Holly's at 8:30?
I'm like 8:30.
8:30. And so if you can join us for that, we'd love to have you here. But that's where we'll give our service awards, watches and all those pieces there, correct? And then, Miss Holly, I think I left, I just dawned on me, our retirement party for our people this year. Monday, May 12th at 3:30 in here in the boardroom.
Cafeteria.
Oh, in the cafeteria. Cafeteria, that's right. So anyways, I'm sorry that wasn't on there. That was my oversight.
That was what day, Caleb?
Monday, May 12th.
At 3:30 in the cafeteria. And then our end of the year employee retention stipend will go out next month. That does hit all of our returning employees. Was it $500, Tommy? Is that right? And we guess we'll have a better number for you next month when they actually go on their paychecks. But somewhere just south of $40,000 is what it usually costs to do that. So, and then of course, if somebody retires or if they leave the district, that they're not eligible for that retention stipend. And I believe that is it for the superintendent's report, Mr. Vice President.
Up next, executive session, discussion of personnel, Texas Government Code, section 551.074. Discussion of personnel, saying one, consider contract recommendations for the following personnel, Texas Government Code 551.074, elementary classroom teachers, teacher coach, school counselor, resignation, retirements from employees per Texas Government Code 551.074. We'll go into executive session at 7:52 p.m. All right, we'll come out of executive session back to open session at 8:45 p.m. Discussion of personnel, considering contract recommendations. The following, we have a motion to accept elementary classroom teacher for Miss Callie King and Catherine Vale.
Let's go ahead and name them all.
And then teacher coach, Wace Forga, and school counselor, Rachel Boone. Do we have a motion? Motion by Rusty.
I'll second.
Second by Tim. All in favor? It's unanimous. Congratulations. Next up, resignations. We have a motion to accept the resignation of Josh Bishop and Amanda Lamb.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Terry.
Second.
Second by Rusty. All in favor? All right. Next up, adjourn. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Rusty.
I'll second.
Second by Tim. All in favor?
Stay behind.